Hello and welcome back to the weekly Q&A. My name's Lumin and right now it's time to answer yet more questions in the dock. That could be a thing. I could call it the Q&A in the dock with Lumin. Wow. I should start calling it that. I mean, I haven't really decided to stick with the weekly Q&A yet, so maybe it can be the Q&A in the dock. The after hours Q&A. Because I generally tend to do this all the way at the end of my workday. I have done it a couple of times, like in the middle of the day or early in the morning or something like that. But for the most part, I do it in the PM. Anyway, before I get to the questions, I will just say I tried to record Dota 2 today, and I thought that it was some of my best commentary ever, but there were so many technical difficulties that just made it terrible. Firstly, I was lagging, which didn't really bother me. I still owned with Axe. I completely and utterly destroyed the enemy team with Axe right from the very beginning. It was amazing. It truly was something to see. I'm surprised they didn't start calling me a map hacker, because some of my calls, some of my instinct calls, I'll call them that, were so off the hook good that it was a little bit unnatural. Anyway, I don't wish to toot my own horn. But you know, when the opportunity presents itself, I'll do it. I had fun. I had fun in Dota, but sadly, it was ruined. First, Fraps stopped recording because my hard drive, my recording hard drive, or at least my Fraps drive that stores all my footage, ran out of space. I do that all the time. It happens all the time. But that was something that I could salvage. I could fix that because I just quickly alt-tabbed, cleared some space up, deleted some junk that was on there because there's a whole lot of old stuff on there that I just keep forgetting to delete. I did that. I fixed it. I alt-tabbed back in. I started recording again and we were A-okay. But then, without me noticing, the hard drive that stores my voice, that actually also happens to house my games and all that other stuff, because I record the voice onto the one hard drive, the footage onto the other hard drive, and it's better to keep them separate. Just because it's nice having those two programs running independently. Now, that hard drive also filled up. I couldn't predict that. I had no idea that would happen. So Sony Vegas didn't pop up with an error or anything like that, which it really should, okay? It should do that. It should tell you, listen here, your hard drive's full, but it doesn't. So, my voice stopped recording, and I kept talking for like a good half an hour extra, because this happened halfway in. And I was sitting here talking to myself, and it was terrible. It was only really terrible after I figured out that this had in fact happened. It was amazing while it was happening, while I was talking, while I was doing the commentary, enjoying the game. But anyway, I even spent 15 minutes in the menu of Dota 2 playing that little item matching game. Man, I had such a sick spree going there. I'm so good at that game. Here I go again. Man, okay. Spent like 15 minutes there. And one thing I said while recording there was that I actually wanted to, after my first game, after I've seen what the interest levels in Dota ended up being, because I'm not sure how many of my subscribers, and I say my subscribers not referring to you guys, because I know you guys are going to watch the Q&A and enjoy the Q&A, but I have nearly 20,000 subscribers. Some of them I don't hear from very often. Some of them don't watch my videos very often. So I'm wondering if there are perhaps more people that are subscribed to me that are waiting for Dota 2 that'll start watching it, and if the interest levels are high enough, if there are enough likes on the video, if there's enough interest, that's the best way of just explaining. If there are enough views and stuff, if you guys say you want to see more, then I wouldn't mind doing something a little bit different where I could get all of us in a game together. Say a game full of 10 Tales of Lumin people in. Why the heck not? I don't care if everyone knows that I am Lumin, I'm that one over there. I mean, it does sort of put a lot of focus on me if we play it in that way, but that would just make it so much more fun. People can counter pick what I pick. People can just focus me the entire game long, but that would just make it more fun. I'd enjoy it. Anyway, I mentioned that at the start of the video, but the video is not going to see the light of day because I sort of butchered it. I was thinking of doing like a super cut of the video, but it's not worth it. I'd rather just record another game at some point. Probably not going to play Axe because I was playing SD. And when I do record another game, I'll upload that one. You guys will be able to enjoy it. Maybe the commentary won't be the best ever. Perhaps I won't perform as well. But I will still enjoy the game as much as I did the one that I recorded today, or tried to record today, which is the most important part, I'd say. I wanted to play the new hero, Abaddon, but I thought it better to play SD, because if you do go AP, then firstly, you might not get that hero. Someone else might pick it, although it is the first one. You could just technically spam enter when you're going into the game, or click, 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 click in the middle of the screen, because you know it's going to be there. It's always the first one. I think it took that spot from Was it Alchemist? It might have been Alchemist that had the first spot on the little swishy card selector swipey hero selecting screen. I think it was there. Anyway, with that out of the way, there's going to be Dota soon. Expect it at some point soon. I said I was going to do it to celebrate the fact that the game launched, and I'm going to. Also, good friend of mine now, who has been for quite some time since I did the Dota 2 beta giveaway, he, as far as I know, works with Valve. Not sure if you're watching this video. I'm not going to mention your name because you might have a stream of people trying to be your friend too. I don't know. I don't know how valuable it is having a friend at Valve. But in my case, today, he happened to be the most valuable person in the world. Because he helped me fix the mic issue. He said, well, it's not actually an issue anymore. So I went into the game and it wasn't actually an issue anymore. And he gave me a command line thingy to put into the launch options of the game and stuff like that. That sort of fixed my mic problems. And that's super amazing. That's actually why I'm currently able to record the game properly without any issues. So, thank you. You know who you are. Thank you. I can actually probably mention his name. His name's Jonathan. Thank you, Jonathan. You're amazing. Truly you are, and I appreciate it. Now, I think we should probably get to the questions proper. Or the Q&A proper, rather. Now, first one's from Tigerhawk. This is more of a suggestion than a question, and it wasn't just him that asked me to do this. He wants me to put timestamps in for each question, or at least list the topics of discussion that I go through in the Q&A, much like I do in the title, so that people can find what they're looking for. Now, I have thought of a solution for this, because there aren't that many people that want this, but there are a couple. I get it. I get that you don't want to sit here and watch me or listen to me talk for an hour. I understand it. I don't often watch videos that are hour long myself. I get it. So, what I want to do is, because the descriptions of the videos don't fit, I can't put all the questions in the description, and to put timestamps in would take a ridiculous amount of time. Then I'd actually have to sit here and either skip through or watch the entire video, putting timestamps down, or while I'm recording it now, I can just put the timestamps in, which is really silly as well, because that would detract from the experience that I'm trying to provide by recording this. So what I'm going to do instead is I will make a post on talesoflumin.com every week when I upload the Q&A, and that post will have the full list of questions in. All of them. So you'll have the exact same list of questions that I have here that I read from, because I've got a WordPad open here with the questions in. I've got the name of the person, so Tigerhawk, then there's a little dash, then the questions there. I don't know why I do it so perfectly, why I organize it all so nicely just for myself, but I do it. And because it's organized so nicely already, I could potentially just copy paste it into a post on the site, and I'll put the post in the description of the video. So anyone that wants to see it, they can just open the video or play the actual video while they're on the site and have that open. Or what they could potentially do is they could just quickly open the post, look where the question is they want, they can see it's close to the end, they can skip close to the end, find it there. That's the best I'm going to be able to do, because there's no way I'm going to sit and put those timestamps in. It is a little bit tedious doing stuff like that. And added to that, I can't use anything like annotations because YouTube has butchered the annotation system. It took me like 20 minutes to put annotations in my Cube World video today. What are they doing? I don't even know. You're now able to pull the block any size you want, and it doesn't matter if there's text or not, it now overlaps the text. So you got to guess how big the block has to be, and it's a mess. It really is a mess. I'm not going to try and explain how bad it is, but it's bad. Annotations are disgustingly difficult to put in videos now, and I'm hoping they fix it soon. So, I'm going to do something about that. I know it wasn't a question, but it was a request, and I'll do it. Kevin Flynn. Hey Sven, when Thief comes out, will you do a Let's Play, and have you ever played the old one? The old ones, you mean? Haha! Well, of course I have. And how about making a Let's Play of Splinter Cell Blacklist? So, I'm going to start at the end and say, Splinter Cell Blacklist probably won't happen. Firstly, because it's going to be a AAA game, and I don't really want to spend that much money on a game that I would say I'm not super interested in. I'm not a big fan of Splinter Cell. I played the very first one when it came out, and I was a fan of that. But I was a fan of the technological aspects of the game, because Splinter Cell, when it came out, was pretty advanced. It just looked really good. It played really well. It was a fun experience. Something different. But I've sort of lost touch with Splinter Cell over the years, and in my honest opinion, it's not the kind of game that I would enjoy very much while playing. So no. But Thief, on the other hand, I have played all the Thief games. I personally enjoyed Thief 1 the most. By far, the best of the Thief series. I know a lot of people actually like Thief... Is it 2? I'm not sure which of Thief 2 or Thief 3 is the more popular one, but I prefer Thief 1. I did play all of them. I don't think I finished the latest one. Is it called Thief 3 The Metal Age? I'm not sure. I didn't finish the latest one, but I did play them all, and I definitely finished the first one, which was one of the best games ever created. Such a good stealthy, sneaky game. And that said, I think it depends on how good Thief looks, because what happened with me was, when they first announced it, I was super excited for the new Thief. Then I saw a couple of trailers, I was even more excited. Then I saw the gameplay that they revealed, and I was like, this doesn't look very good. Because it didn't look very good. The game just doesn't look great. There's nothing really special going on in it. It's full of things that we've seen in countless other games over the past year or so. And these games, these other games, seem to do these things better. So we're going to have to wait and see. There's a lot more to it, obviously, that we haven't seen yet. And there's still a bit of time before it comes out. So we'll see. We'll see. I can't say yes or no. I think it depends on how good the game is or how interested I am in the game when it comes out. Mr. Stocktown 209. Hey Lumin, have you ever heard of or seen Sons of Anarchy? If you have, what do you think of it? Keep up the great videos. I don't even know what that is. I'm assuming that's a television series, much like Homeland or... What's the other one? Is it Homeland? The one that all the Americans watch and no one else in the world knows exists? I think that's the one. And I feel like Sons of Anarchy could be the same kind of thing. Or is this more an army type thing? Sons of Anarchy sound like a sort of Band of Brothers type situation. I don't know if that's a fact. I don't know what it's about. So if you want to tell me what it's all about before I go and Google it, maybe I'll just Google it. Maybe while we're sitting here, I'll Google it, then I can give you my on-the-fly impression. Sons of Anarchy. Season 6, you say? That's a lot of seasons. So, I have not quite found it yet. There you go. TV series 2008. It's a television drama series by Kurt Sutter about the lives of a close-knit outlaw motorcycle club. Well, that sounds much more interesting than Homeland. Okay, so I had that completely wrong. Operating in Charming, a fictional town in California's Central Valley. Well, fictional, motorcycles, club. Well, sounds pretty good so far. There are a whole lot of seasons though. I'm not sure I like the fact that there are so many seasons. The show centers on protagonist Jackson Jax Tiller. Okay. The then vice president of the club, who begins questioning the club and himself. That sounds super deep. So that's it. I see that it's been doing rather well. There's 6 seasons already, and attracted 4.9 million viewers per week. Wow. What can I say? It looks interesting. There you go. Those are my first impressions. Matt Leakfeld. Alright, Lumin, it's been a while since I've asked a question. You might have answered this already in a recent Q&A, but what do you think of the brief gameplay footage of Destiny that was shown at E3? brilliant question. Now, I got a very distinctive Borderlands vibe from it, but the thing is, it's got a Borderlands feel to it. But at the same time, it's much cleaner in how it looks, how it's presented to you. And looks and presented are two different things. Looks as in visual style, presented to you as in how you go about doing things in the game, how the game presents challenges to you, missions to you, objectives to you. The UI and stuff looked incredibly clean as well. I saw a lot of similarities there. I saw a lot of gameplay similarities between Borderlands 2 or Borderlands in general and Destiny, but I got the feeling that there was a lot more to it. Now, I imagine that if they had to make a Borderlands online, it would be something like Destiny, but Destiny's obviously beaten them to the punch. So, that said, there's more to it. It looks like they take, or no, they didn't take this from that, because these guys made Halo and all that, so they've got their own ideas. This is not obviously the inspiration that they drew from Borderlands and Borderlands alone, but I'm saying that it looks like Borderlands but expanded upon, so there's a lot more to it. You can actually just keep going in this big, mostly open world. You can drop in and drop out of your friend's play, which is kind of cool. There's a lot more to it that has an MMO feel. So there are these public events and stuff that they showed in the gameplay, and I like that. So I enjoyed Borderlands gameplay a whole lot, but I always get the feeling that when you're playing a game like that, it's a waste leveling that character. You know, you're leveling this character, you're getting all this cool gear, but you're the only one that's going to see it. Sure, you could play online with random people, but it's not as persistent as an MMO would be. You don't have that freedom to show off. It's not like Guild Wars in that sense. You know, you can run into the middle of Lion's Arch at any time and have everyone see your beautiful character that you've created, that you've spent all your time on. I didn't get that feeling in Borderlands. Now I get the feeling that I'll get the feeling that I want to get in Destiny. That's what I got from that gameplay. The gunplay in the actual preview that they showed us looked really, really solid. Really solid. The areas, beautiful. The graphics were amazing. There's no way I'd want to play that on a current gen console, because I think it's coming to Xbox 360 and PS3 as well. But there's no way I'd want to do that. I would want to play it on my new PC here or on one of the next gen consoles. Truly, I would. But I was thoroughly impressed, and I am honestly super keen for it. I hope they show us a lot more before it launches, and I hope it is not too restrictive. I'll just say that. But if you haven't seen it yet, go watch the Destiny gameplay reveal from E3. It is super impressive. Really, really cool. They put a lot of effort into it. There's a lot of promise there, and I can't wait. Next. Trevor Sherwood, hi, Lumin, my question is, do you have any tattoos? No. I don't know what else to say about that. I could pretty much just say no, and that's going to be the end of it. But I will tell you that I haven't really even considered really getting a tattoo to this point. I've said before that if I had to get something, it would actually have to mean something. It would be something special, something that I really want. I wouldn't just get a tattoo to get a tattoo. That's my answer. Name unknown. Lumin, have you ever considered podcasting? I think you would be great at that. So this is a question that has popped up a couple of times over the past couple of years, and I said before that I don't quite understand podcasting, and I'll still stick with that when questions like this, or where questions like this are concerned, because I don't understand what you mean by podcasting. Do you mean, should I set up a podcast of my own, invite guests onto it, sort of like the TGS podcast or any of the other big podcasts out there? I think the TGS podcast is probably going to be called the Polaris podcast soon, or something else. Do you mean that I should do that? Or do you mean I should get onto other people's podcasts? Or do you mean I should upload videos of me sitting there talking alone for a long time to my YouTube channel? I'm not sure where podcasting begins and ends. I don't know. But I do think that I would enjoy podcasting a whole lot. I mean, I've been on the TGS podcast once. It was a lot of fun. I had a blast on there. Dodger, Jesse, and Total Biscuit were absolutely amazing, super welcoming, and I just generally had a lot of fun talking to them about video games and stuff. So yes, I've considered it, but there's no way that I'd be able to host anything like that or stream anything like that because my internet just can't. Now, moving along, Captain Snowflake. Hey Lumin, you're awesome. Thank you, thank you. I left that in on purpose. I'm getting to the point of finishing up Cowboy Bebop. It's awesome if you haven't seen it. I have. And I was wondering if you have any suggestions for what to watch next. Here's a list of my favorites. Fullmetal Alchemist, not Brotherhood, Darker Than Black, Angel Beats, Trigun, Lost Exile, I'll highly recommend this, Samurai Champloo, Code Geass, Sword of the Stranger. Any suggestions? Thanks, keep up the good work. So of those, I've watched Fullmetal Alchemist, Trigun, Lost Exile, Samurai Champloo, and obviously Cowboy Bebop. I've watched those, and if I had to recommend others, that's difficult. It's been 5 years, longer probably, since I've watched anime. I've been thinking of watching Attack on Titan because everyone's been telling me how amazing it is, so I'm going to try scrounge that up somewhere. And I'm not sure if I'm going to watch it on my phone because reading subtitles on that little screen, not so cool. Not so cool. We don't have an iPad or anything like that, so I'd probably have to watch it in front of my PC, which is something I am not very good at because when I sit here, I want to do things. When I'm lying in bed, I want to watch things. Or sleep. That's secondary, obviously, but still. If I had to recommend a few, I'd say if you haven't seen Evangelion, you should probably watch that just because it's something that gets talked about a whole lot. One that I enjoyed a whole lot, like more than some of the others that I watched, was Eureka 7. I really did. I don't know why, but it was just a fun anime. It was a lot of fun. So watch that if you haven't already. Helene and I both watched something called Blue Gender, which was different. Different good. It was really cool. Blue Gender was good. Then there's the other classic that I think everyone would probably tell you to watch as well, which is Ghost in the Shell. And then there are a whole lot of others that I've watched that I can't remember now. I mean, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think what there was that I saw, but it's been so long. I used to have a nice big anime collection. Well, not used to. It's still somewhere around here. I don't know. But I just haven't spent any time looking at anime or watching any anime recently. When Bleach and Naruto started taking off, then I started losing interest. I enjoyed the first couple of episodes of each of those respectively, but I got bored when they got to episode 100 plus. I don't even think I made it that far. So, let's look. The Madness Eye. My questions. Have you ever been to any convention and do you plan on going to one any time in the future? Which one if yes? No, I haven't. I went to a Blizzard press event, and it was the most unexpected and exciting thing that I had done for a long, long time. One of the best experiences in my life. Going to Blizzard Entertainment headquarters, seeing their facilities, their campus. If I could one day work at or for Blizzard, I would take that job in a heartbeat. I would. I'd obviously still make YouTube videos, but I would take that job in a heartbeat because of how amazing it looks to work there. Everything looks amazing. I'm not going to go into too much detail. If you haven't watched a campus tour of Blizzard's headquarters in Irvine, California, do it. Watch it, you won't regret it. Their gym, their cafeteria. They even have like little places where people can stay if they pull all-nighters. It's amazing. So, conventions. I've been to Rage, which is a South African convention, which doesn't really count. It's tiny in comparison to Gamescom or E3 or any of these big ones, PAX, you know, Comic-Con, tiny. I would say that it's probably like a 10th of the size of the smallest of those. It's all in one dome, so if you think of the size of like a football field, maybe a bit smaller. No. if you take a football field and you round it instead of oval it, that's pretty much the size of the dome that it's in. And it's not that much. They don't have that much there. They get a couple of the newer games. They get a couple of... They'll probably have, this year in October, they will probably have playable PS4s and Xbox Ones there. They are not that far behind, but it costs too much to get the really big stuff to South Africa. If I'm not mistaken, they had someone from ArenaNet down last year, which I didn't get to see. Someone who just explained a bit of Guild Wars stuff, showed the game off, talked a bit, stuff like that. Diablo was a big feature there, StarCraft. I went to that a couple of years ago. I don't know what year it was in, but it was a good couple of years ago. I went to play Doom 3 competitively. It was a lot of fun, okay? It was quite fun. It was an experience. Before that, a couple of years before that, I played Warcraft 3 competitively at one of these things. I think with Doom, I did well. I lost a game against the guy that won the entire thing. His name was Ember or something. I lost a game to him. I lost that game and I got 4th place. 5th place? 4th? I don't even remember. But I lost the game to him 3-2. 3-2. In a 15-minute Doom game. It was ridiculous. I irritated that guy so much. Okay, I was good at Doom, but I irritated him so much because what I was good at in Doom was not always aiming, was not always playing the angles right, getting those perfect shots. What I was good at was moving fast. So I ran and I ran and I ran, and I just picked away at this guy, chipped away at his health, chipped away at his armor, and kept picking, and he was raging because he was sitting right across from me and I could see it. I could see it in his eyes. It was intense. He was getting so angry because there comes like this rocket out of nowhere. Bam, it hits him, takes half his health and armor down. Then he goes there and there's no one there. And then a second later, bam, from the other side, this rocket. Because what I did was I spent so much time practicing alone. I practiced everything alone. I could do every single trick jump in Doom's maps. I knew all the levels inside out. And I was very precise with that kind of thing. And it was the same with Quake 3 and all that stuff. My movement was always the big plus on my scorecard or whatever. So because of that, I managed to get this 2-3 with that guy. And after the game, he came and said to me, that was the most infuriating and exciting thing I've ever done. Or the most infuriating, exciting game I've ever played. And he shook my hand and he said, well done, and he continued to win the tournament. And the other games that were played at the same convention were like in the 10s and 20s scores because they were either very one-sided or everyone just played carelessly. There we were with our 2-3. It was a lot of fun. It was an experience. That's why I went there, and I didn't win back anything. Like it ended up being pretty even for me, the actual trip and the cost of it. But it didn't really cost very much to get there, seeing that it was just from here to Johannesburg. I still got to see a lot of what was going on there, and I imagine that the bigger conventions are like that, just much more extreme, with much more going on. They give away a whole bunch of free stuff, you get to play some games. Cool. So if I do get to go to a convention in the future, the chances are, you know, I want to go to BlizzCon, I'd love to, but I said to Eileen that going there and being there alone with no purpose wouldn't be so much fun. Just hanging around trying to get into these halls to watch the things as a member of the crowd wouldn't be so much fun. I'd like to go there for a reason. So if I get invited there by Blizzard at some point, I'll do it. The chances are super slim because I'm not really focusing on any Blizzard stuff right now. But if it does happen, maybe when Hearthstone comes out and I actually spend a lot of time focusing on that, if it does happen, I'll accept. Graciously accept. Because I had such a good time at their headquarters, and if I could even get a fraction of that enjoyment out of going to BlizzCon, I'll take it. Otherwise, though, if I had to choose to go somewhere myself, it would probably be Gamescom, because it's much closer. It's only 1 flight away instead of 2 flights. So that could happen in the future. My parents have so many free Voyager miles, or whatever miles they have, that the chances are I could probably get a very cheap or free trip there and back. I just don't have a reason to go there because it would probably end up being a loss for me, seeing that right now, even if I just accidentally don't get a video up on a specific day, on any given day, so if today I perhaps didn't get any videos up, I can feel that. I can see that quite keenly in my income and in my earnings and all that stuff, because my views suffer from that. And then the next day, the views are lower because people are like, hey, you didn't upload anything today. Maybe I won't check back tomorrow. I don't know. Maybe that's not the case. But I would probably also need to have a reason to go there. I'm not big enough to be able to get interviews and stuff like that with devs, so I probably wouldn't go for that reason. So I'd have to wait. You know, to go to a convention, I would need a reason. There you go. I got sidetracked a little bit there, talking about Doom and Rage and all that stuff, but it was fun. Now you know a little bit more about old Lumin. So, Isabella Vicente. I said to Eileen, that's got to be how you say the name. And you got to be Italian or Spanish or something like that. Hi Lumin, a few questions. When you play new Guild Wars content, do you use guides like Dolphy to get all the achievements quickly, or do you prefer to explore the content yourself? I do both, honestly. I won't say that I just don't use guides or anything like that. I prefer ArenaNet's guides because they firstly give better advice. They type the guides better. Dolphy. I don't want to say anything negative or bad about her, but some of her stuff is just thrown together so quickly that it ends up being just a collection of random facts more so than a guide. I don't know. I don't enjoy her guide so much, but she does do well sometimes. You can see sometimes she puts a lot of effort into it, but other times not so much. I tend to use the guides when I don't have time to really play and enjoy it. I usually just use Eileen. I ask her, what do I need to do? And she gets annoyed and she tells me anyway. There you go. That's what I do. She serves as my Dolphy guide, not the actual person. That would be awkward. So, if you had one wish, what would you wish for? I don't know. Nothing. It's the same thing that Helene always asks me, what do you want for your birthday? And I say, I don't really need anything. There's nothing I want. No, I don't know. I wouldn't. You know, I'm not going to answer this like a Miss America would answer it and say, I want world peace. Because that's not something that one could just wish for. If it was, sure, I'd go for that. Whatever. I want people to stop being mean. You know? I want countries to stop waging war. I want terrorists to stop being terrorists. But that's not the kind of answer you're looking for. I'm sure you're looking for something more personalized, more Lumin-esque. And I can't really give you one because there's not really anything that I would wish for. I don't know. I would wish for a happily ever after. There you go. Everything must just go right. That would be a lot of fun. Wow. Then, if you have a chance, would you go skydiving? Probably not. I want to say I'd be brave enough for it, but I don't see the appeal. Would I go to space? Now there's a different story. Yes. Yes, I would go to space if I had the chance. Not for long. Just shoot up into space, come back down. It's entirely different. Space exploration is one of my dreams. I know I'm not going to explore space, but you know, that's something more up my alley. Skydiving, not so much. I don't like the extreme sports. Do you ever plan on getting another dog, or is Nero the only puppy for you? We had thought about getting another dog, but we can't afford it. Okay, Nero gets really nice food, which costs us a lot, 600 or 700 rand a month. No, well, 600 or 700 rand per bag, and I think that would equate to, what, $60, $70 for the US people amongst you. 50, 60 euros maybe for the EU people amongst you. I don't think we'd be able to afford it. All the costs, both monetary and time-wise, it's not something we could do right now, but it's something we definitely considered, because it would be more so for Nero really nice than for us to have someone around here. He is now, though, already 3 years old. He is his own dog person, and he's got his own personality. He's very much okay with being an only child, and I think it's fine with us. That's something we are both happy with, and he's happy with. He is, for those that don't know, a people puppy. He socializes with us all the time. There is not a moment in this day when Nero is not like really close to me or within a couple of steps of my position, and I never walk past that puppy without either giving him a hug or a pat or a kissy on the schnoot. He gets all my love and attention. And he will always get all my love and attention. So there you go. That's why we're okay with just having Nero. P.S. Thank you for making my favorite content on YouTube. The quality and love you put into your videos is beyond anything else or anyone else I see, and I truly love it. Thank you. That warms the heart. Thank you so much, Isabella. Thank you. Andrew Jones. Are you in the Final Fantasy 14 Realm Reborn beta? I saw Lumin on Ultros yesterday. I never use anything other than Lumin or Juniper. And I think my character is actually Juniper or Juniper Lee or something like that. Well, I do use other stuff when I can't get the nickname I want. I am in the beta, however. I'm allowed to say that now. I think I'm allowed to talk about it as well. I'm just not allowed making videos. I have not spent much time playing though. I played through the starter bit, but I haven't even really tried the combat out yet. So I can't give you any impressions on it just yet. But as far as I could tell, a few things bugged me or nagged me. It felt a little bit, not very cheap at the start. The character creation was super amazing. I can't wait to make a video on that. But the introduction cutscene wasn't voice acted or anything like that. The visuals, even cranked up to the max, they were just okay. I'm not sure if they get better when you progress, or if they look better in other zones or whatever, but these are just very, very, very early impressions. I haven't played the game. I've heard from a lot of people that it's a lot of fun, and that it's a huge improvement over the first Final Fantasy XIV, so I'm super keen to try it out and actually spend a bit of time playing it. Jack Dev, Lumin, I've got 2 questions. Do you know Falling Skies? If so, what are your thoughts on it? I haven't seen it, but I do know of it, and my parents have told me to watch it because they say it's good. I am interested in it. I am. It looks like a lot of fun. I didn't like the look of the main actor, but that might just be a bad photo of him in the poster. I don't know why, okay, but I feel that if you're going to be looking at this one guy for the rest of the series, then he should at least not irritate you. I don't know if he irritates me. I haven't even seen any of the episodes yet, but there you go. I like the look of the series, and I will probably end up watching it at some point. Right now, we're trying to watch Mentalist. We're trying to work through it. We had just finished Supernatural. We started on the new Dexter season. Busy with Dexter, Mentalist, and I'm watching Battlestar Galactica. So my plate is full. My series plate is full. Then, the second part of the question, would you consider doing Final Fantasy XIV coverage once the NDA gets lifted? Yes, I probably will. I'm not sure to what extent, but I'll do something with Final Fantasy XIV. The Actual Vimple. Lumin, have you played Bastion? I'm sure you've at least heard of it. You should also do a series of it, or at least an adventure worthy. Pay close attention to the soundtrack because it's amazing, but knowing you, you'll probably do that without me telling you. So I have played Bastion. I included Bastion in my top games of 2012. I realized it was released in 2011, but it was one of the better games that I played. I played a good bit into it, and I loved the narration. The music was amazing too. The soundtrack, I've got it on my PC here. It's good. It's really, really good. Some of the best music I've ever heard. And I'm very, very keen for Transistor, the new game from the Bastion guys. It's also going to be done in the same kind of way, with the same kind of art style. It's going to be a lot of fun. But, yes, it's super good. The chances are slim I'll do a full playthrough. Maybe someday I'll do an adventure worthy. Who knows? Grimlock 000000. Hey Lumin, a couple of questions. Do you have a video capture card that you use to record console games? I've been watching a playthrough of The Last of Us, and it would be awesome to watch you play it. I also imagine a game like Ni no Kuni would be right up your alley. I would love to play Ni no Kuni one day, and I'm probably going to get it when it goes on special, because it does look like a kind of game that I'd enjoy. I don't have anything to record. absolutely anything on my PlayStation. As far as I know, you can use like a PVR to do that, I think. But we don't have anything like that here. I don't even think we have our PlayStation hooked up at the moment. Our TV is like in a cupboard over there in the lounge that we never even open. But if I do happen to get a PlayStation 4 when it comes out, or sometime after it comes out, and it can record footage and facilitate me actually doing commentary on a console easily enough, then I might think about doing stuff with that. The Last of Us, however, the chances are slim that I'd do that. As much as I want to play it one day, the chances are slim that I'd do a playthrough of it. Then, do you make enough money for each of the games that you put up onto YouTube to actually cover the cost of them, as well as your own living expenses? Example, spend $35 on XCOM, make $40 back. That is a really good question. No one has actually asked me that yet. There's more to it than a simple yes I do or no I don't, because you bring up XCOM. Now, XCOM, the series on my channel, the entirety of it, has definitely made back what I paid for the game, but if I had to just take one video of XCOM, definitely not. No, I don't think so. Unless one of them got a lot of views. I don't know. Now that obviously varies from game to game, but usually I don't get close to the same amount of money back. So if I do an adventure worthy or something like that, I never really expect to make back what I paid for the game. You know, sometimes if it's a smaller, cheaper game, perhaps, yes. Maybe over time the video picks up a lot of steam, gets popular somehow, then yes. I mean, there are some videos on my channel that are getting a whole lot of views. Cube World, for instance, is doing really well for me at the moment. It makes a lot of sense for me to push out the Cube World, and I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it. And I would say that I've already made back my money on Cube World, yes. I cannot say for sure. I'm not the kind of person that sits around looking at the stats. So for me, I, every day or two, go into my analytics, look at the graphs. Now I do obviously spend a lot of time choosing the right tags, making sure I name the videos right. Nowadays, more so than I did before. Making sure those things are right. Looking where the views are coming from. Seeing which videos are gaining traction, which are not doing as well. I do pay attention to that, but I don't fret over stats and stuff like that. I do this because I love doing it. I don't do it for the numbers. That's just honestly how it is for me. So I would not be able to right off the top of my head tell you how much I've made from XCOM, how much I've made from Skyrim, how much I've made from this or from that. I can tell you that the videos with lots of views have made me a good amount. They've helped sustain us. So things like Neverwinter's character creation, Path of Exile, I think is still getting a lot of views. PlanetSide got a lot of views. A couple of these things, they are what's keeping me afloat, or us afloat at the moment, and they bring in subscribers and stuff like that. Those are the ones that help out a lot, and that's why I obviously wanted to try and focus more on adventure worthies, which I haven't been doing recently, mainly because of Cube World and some other things. But I do have 2 adventure worthies lined up that I'm going to be recording this week sometime, or perhaps this weekend. I am actually, for those that are wondering, recording this on Thursday evening. I don't, in general, just pay too much attention to all of these stats and numbers and all that stuff. Usually I look at, well, that's this month, that's this month, that's this month, this one was worse, better, worse, etc, etc, etc. That's how I do it. But let's have a look. So for something like Metro, for instance, that was not a very good investment on my part, because I'm not getting a lot of views on any of those videos. It's not really getting any extra or new subscribers for my channel, mainly because a lot of people played it. It's difficult to find on YouTube. And I would say that from a business point of view, that was not a good idea. You could think of it like that. XCOM, on the other hand, close to the same, but a little bit better. Skyrim, good. Cube World, good. I know you didn't really ask for all of this, and I could have given you a much shorter answer, but for the most part, I don't get back what I pay, and I'm fortunate enough to have all of you guys looking out for me and sometimes gifting me stuff, and I really appreciate that. When I get gifted a big game that I was planning on playing and I don't have to actually buy it for myself, convert my measly little rands into dollars, it's sort of a big relief for me. But it's not something that I fret about too much. I feel that if I keep doing things right, if I keep putting out quality content, eventually my day will come. I was saying before, 100,000 by the end of the year. For now, I'll still stick with that. The chances are super slim. Oh, super slim. But who knows? Maybe something happens and a whole lot of people start watching my videos. That'll be great. I guess. It'll be fine if it doesn't happen too. I guess. We'll see. I do sometimes get a bit frustrated, and I discussed this with Lean as well, by some people having so many subscribers, and I look at their videos and I think to myself, how? How does this happen? I don't know. I don't know how it happens, but Alec Corvin. Lumin, I noticed you've been more active in Guild Wars 2 lately. I've been waiting for this question. I was wondering, what are your thoughts on the current state of the game? I recently quit on a semi-permanent basis, based on the fact that they are just not adding enough permanent content to keep me interested. Right with you there. But what they did with the Bazaar of the Four Winds patch, it piqued my curiosity. My long-term curiosity. I like what they're doing with achievement points now. I like the reward system, and the reward system itself shows promise. So, current state of the game. They released a post on the official site a little while ago. Was actually today, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to open it here because I feel it makes it easier for me to just quickly go over it and tell you what's in it. Or let me first tell you what I think about... Why is it so dark? The current state of the game as it is right now. So there are some problems. I feel that the Living Story updates that have been coming out are not working. They need to add a little bit of permanent stuff with each of them, and they've realized that. So they started doing it, and it's getting better. We could consider that concern addressed. Then, there are a few things that should have been sorted out a whole long time ago, because the game is nearing its 1-year anniversary. It still runs terribly on most PCs. I hate to say this again. I really do. But there's a Titan in here. 3930K. 16 gigs of RAM. SSD. Not that that matters too much. But super fast PC. 25 FPS on a boss fight. Whatever. Whatever, okay? I don't want to talk about the performance too much. I realize many people, most people, have it much worse than me right now when it comes to performance. And I don't really care. Not about the people. I do care about that because I want the game better. I don't care that the performance is bad, because the game is still fun to play. So I don't care too much about that. The game is enjoyable, that's okay, but it is something they should look at. Then, another point. The UI. The UI needs to be worked on a lot. So, things like the guild interface still haven't been touched since launch, and it's terrible. You open it, your game grinds to a halt. Not so much mine, but most people's. It still does lag my PC. If I'm recording or something, while playing, it sits on 30 FPS for the most part. Open guild panel, 20 FPS. I don't know what that's all about. Then you can't see the activity levels. You can't see when your guild members were last online. There are just a whole lot of features that are missing. Next. Why say, excuse me, that this game is meant to be casual friendly, fun, less hardcore, and then keep adding more stuff that makes it feel like a hardcore game? Also, if they have this big focus on cosmetics and the skins instead of the stats, why is there no easy way to store the skins and reuse them? I've said this so many times already, but why don't they add a skin locker for PvE? And this is something that myself and Eileen discuss probably on a daily basis. Skin locker for PvE deposit whatever you want in there, it gets saved in there permanently, sort of like the new achievements work, like where you can get those Zenith weapon skins out of your achievement window. Same kind of thing, where you can withdraw them, but only to make it worth it for ArenaNet, they can make that withdrawal cost a transmutation stone. Or they can make the actual application onto an item cost a transmutation stone. Why not? It would probably make people use more transmutation stones, buy more of them from the gem store, and spend more money on the game. Why not do that? Right now I'm sitting with a whole bunch of skins in all my different characters' inventories that I'm too scared to use in case I lose. Anyway, there are a whole lot of things that I'm not happy with right now, but it does seem like they're on the right track, and I do also want to see more permanent content. There you go. Now I wanted to open that post here, so I will. guildwars2.com is here, and they've got a looking ahead, Guild Wars 2 in 2013. So, I'm just going to sort of quickly say what they mentioned in here. They said that they're going to be sticking with a 2-week release thing. They're going to be bringing back a whole bunch of the other stuff that we enjoyed, like Super Adventure Box and the festivity related, like the holiday festivals, like Winter's Day and all that. Obviously, that's coming back. Then they said that there are going to be new skills or something that you can get for your characters, that they'll release every now and then, new ones for like your class or whatever, that you can go and get as you would in Guild Wars 1. So you got to actually go and do something to find the skill out there in the world. There'll be new skills and traits. They're going to add a whole bunch of new rewards and stuff. There are going to be new rewards from champion mobs and events and stuff like that, I suppose, to just make it more appealing to do. They're going to rework the way dungeons work, so people won't just farm the same wing over and over. There'll be better rewards for longer dungeons. And crafting, I think, is going to be taken up to 500, which is pretty intense. There'll be new rewards and stuff, and new crafting recipes and all that. Magic Find is being removed from items, which I think is perfect, amazing, really good idea. It'll still be available from consumables and from your account bonuses, but I think it's definitely worth removing it, because it makes it that people are always stuck between wanting to wear their Magic Find gear because they'll get better gear from drops and stuff, and wanting to wear their DPS gear so they wouldn't suck or die. That's not a cool place to be. Then there's a whole bunch of other stuff like new legendaries. You're going to be able to craft precursors, or at least do like a mini quest for the precursors, sort of like the legendary. World vs. World PvP, I'm not going to go into that. And more. They said that they're looking for group tool to still come in. And I would say that this article is well worth a read for anyone currently playing Guild Wars or thinking of playing in the not too distant future, because they do cover a whole lot of stuff that I think needs to be changed. But they didn't mention the skin locker thing in there. They didn't mention any fixes for the PvE skin situation. So I guess they want these skins to be temporary things. I don't know. I personally don't like that, but hey, I'm not the one designing the game. They also didn't mention much in terms of performance or guild stuff. So, that's it. Check the post out if you haven't already. I am enjoying Guild Wars at the moment. That's all I'll say. I'm enjoying Mesmer. My new character, Lumin, is amazing. Then, the Fat and Proud. Lumin, have you ever played Trine 2? Because it seems like your kind of game. It's a great game to play with a friend. Hint, hint, Helene. I realize that you have a lot of series on your hands right now, and I'm not saying you should start it right now. I was just wondering if you... Oh, what do you think of it? Have a great day. I've played Trine 1. I haven't played Trine 2. I think I do own Trine 2, but... You know, these platformers, these puzzle platformers, they're not really my cup of tea. I don't know why I don't enjoy them so much, but they have to be really unique and special for me to want to spend a lot of time in it, or do a video or series on it or something like that. So maybe one day, but there are other things that I'd prefer to do with Helene right now, like for instance Cube World. And we said before we wanted to do Walking Dead together. I'm not even sure if that's going to happen or how it's going to work, but it's something that I'm definitely thinking of doing in the future. Now, the last set of questions. Legend of Tomorrow. Lumin, 2 questions. Do you ever plan on doing a full Let's Play of Assassin's Creed 3? If so, when could we expect to see episodes on that? It's difficult. I mean, I released the Adventure Worthy and the extras, and let me look how many views it got. Just for interest's sake, this is now obviously not really important or related, but just to give you a bit of an idea how my thought process formulates in my mind. Assassin's Creed. Where is it? 1,300 views for my first impressions on Assassin's Creed 3. Now I realize it came out a good 6 months late. That's probably why. But I can tell you right now that I will not get more than that per episode on a Let's Play of Assassin's Creed. And as much as I want to, as much as I don't want to base my decisions on business reasons like it won't get views, I have to think about that. I have to think about the growth of my channel. I have to think about the bit of money that we make and all that stuff that's related. So from a business point of view, it just wouldn't make sense. As much as I want to do it, I might even end up finishing the game myself, perhaps recording a post impressions video on it at some point. And, you know, a lot of people might say, well, if you're going to play it anyway, why not record it? Well, because it takes a lot out of me. I mean, you got to keep in mind, I've got a lot of other series running at the moment, and recording, say, 2 or 3 Assassin's Creed episodes in a row, or even just one, means that I probably can't record one other thing on that same day. I've got a limit to how much I can do in a day, and you can hear my voice is already starting to fail, and that's just because I generally tend to be very enthusiastic in my videos, and I can't help it. I can't help making a noise and jumping around and shouting, because that's how I play games. That's how I do it. Because of that, it takes a lot out of me, and if I had to say, I could probably record maybe an hour or 2 at most a day. I wouldn't be able to record longer than that, and this is now everything. So maybe like I record a half an hour Skyrim episode, I record a 40-minute Dota, and then I record news. You know, that's my day done. But then I have to spend a lot of other time doing other things. The rest of the time, collecting news, editing videos. Cube World, for instance, takes a lot of time to edit. Just as an example, a lot of time. Because I go through both our gameplay streams to see if there's something interesting happening there. I have to set up these cool little gotcha, you caught, or I caught, or horse has been caught, or whatever, that little Pokemon scream that I did. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. My production value on my episodes of Cube World is so high, and I hope because of that, a lot of people watch it. And, you know, a lot of time gets spent on doing these things, so less time gets spent, or I'll have less time to do other things like record Assassin's Creed. So the sad fact of the matter is that the chances are slim that I wouldn't do that. I can, however, say that you'll be happy with my answer to the second part of your question. There are a lot of smaller quests and quest lines in Skyrim that you've not gotten around to yet. There are a huge amount of content. Oh, there's a huge amount of content that you are missing out on. Do you plan on playing Skyrim past the Dragonborn DLC, or are you going to put Skyrim to rest after that? I think that I will firstly base it on what people want to see, and secondly, the chances are, because I already said I wanted to, I will go through and do, after Dragonborn, Dark Brotherhood, and a couple of other quest lines. Not sure which ones exactly, but there are a good few big quest lines that I want to get around to, because these are ones that you should play if you've in any way been interested in Skyrim, which I definitely am. And I haven't done yet. So I'll do them. At some point I will get them done. Which means I probably won't end it after Dragonborn. As much as I want to say I want to, I don't. I mean, if it keeps getting views, people keep enjoying it, and I keep enjoying it, I will keep playing it. That's that. So, that is sadly going to be it for this Q&A. I see I managed to keep it just under an hour this time, which is rather impressive. Now it's like 11 o'clock. I need to start getting ready to bed, because I'm trying to get into a slightly more acceptable schedule. We're going to bed at like around 12 every day now, and waking up at around 8. It generally doesn't seem to happen for me like that. I want to get to sleep, at that time. But for instance, last night we had Nero being sick. He's better now. He's feeling much better. You'd know that from the vlog that I uploaded. But we had him being sick, so he woke me up at like 2 o'clock or 1 a.m. in the morning. Then again at 5. And then, you know, that's kind of my sleep ruined. But I try to get enough sleep, and because of that, how did I even start talking about this? I don't even know. Now I've just managed to confuse myself. Oh yes, the schedule. I'm trying to get into a schedule, into a routine that works for me. And this is how I do it. By stopping right the heck now. Check back here soon for more. Hopefully within a week the next one will be up. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them. If you have any suggestions, you can leave those too, because I obviously do read all of it. Remember, I will from now on start posting those things. I don't want to say articles, but those posts on talesoflumin.com with a full list of questions. So if you want to see that, you can check it out there. Thanks for watching. Check back here soon for more. And thank you for your support. All of you. Each and every single one of you. We're nearly at 20,000 subscribers, which is amazing. Took us quite some time. Only 3 years. It's not a big thing. But I appreciate all the love that I get from you on a daily basis. Just wanted to thank you for that. Because check us for more. Most importantly though. Happy leaving those questions. Happy that.